Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL buzz lately, you've probably heard some whispers about a potential blockbuster trade that could shake up the NFC East, and honestly, the entire league. The focus is on none other than Will Anderson Jr., the young and ferocious pass rusher from the Houston Texans. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this real? Is this just rumor mill speculation? Well, buckle up, because the latest reports, especially from insider Adam Schefter, suggest there's serious interest brewing between the Texans and the Washington Commanders. And it's not just idle chatter. There are solid signals pointing towards a possible deal that could redefine the Commanders' defense and their chances moving forward. Let's start with the background, because Anderson Jr. is a player who's been on the rise since entering the league, and the numbers back it up. At just 24, Anderson has proven himself as one of the most disruptive young edge rushers in the NFL. In his rookie season, he racked up 14, 5 sacks, 32 quarterback hits, and 11 tackles for loss, earning him a PFF grade of 92, which is basically elite for an edge rusher at this stage of his career. His pressure rate of 22% on NFL.com is among the highest, indicating that he's constantly forcing the quarterback into uncomfortable spots. His EPA per rush of plus 0.24 and a run-stop win rate of 45% highlight his versatility. He's not just a pass rusher. He's a complete threat against both the pass and the run. Anderson's career numbers are impressive. Over 30 sacks, a Defensive Rookie of the Year award in 2023, and a future Pro Bowl appearance seemingly on the horizon. The only thing holding him back a bit is an injury setback in his most recent season, limiting him to 14 games. But even then, he averaged over a sack per game and maintained a bend rate of 28%. Indicating his excellent ability to shape the edge and bend around blockers. Watching him on tape, you see a predator who's constantly hunting the quarterback, evoking comparisons to Von Miller during his prime with Denver in 2015. That's the kind of impact player the Commanders desperately need to elevate their front seven from their current 38 sacks to a potential 50-plus, with Anderson leading the charge. Now, let's talk about the Texans' side of things. Houston's defense currently ranks inside the top 10, allowing just 19 points per game, a testament to their overall team strength. But despite that, there's a glaring hole in their pass rush, which has seen a decline of roughly 20% in sacks compared to previous seasons. They're sitting at 8-6, with a cap space squeezed tight at around $25 million for 2026, and they're probably eyeing the future with a focus on building around their young quarterback, C.J. Stroud. There's some skepticism about whether they'll hold onto Anderson long-term, especially considering their upcoming extensions and the risk of losing him for nothing if they don't act now. Trading Anderson would bring back 2 second-round picks and allow them to focus on bolstering their offensive line, which is a priority for Houston to protect their young QB and sustain their rebuild. But the Commanders, well, they're looking to capitalize on this moment. They're assembling a front seven that's already capable of pressuring the quarterback, with 38 sacks this season, but adding Anderson Jr. would be like pouring gasoline on the fire. His ability to create pressure at a 22% rate, combined with his 12 additional tackles for loss if he joins Washington, would make their pass rush unstoppable. The team's current defense is already carrying the load, especially with injuries to key players like Daniel Jones' elbow, which has hampered their secondary and led to a 15% reduction in points allowed over recent weeks. But imagine that, with Anderson coming in and adding a new dimension to their rush, plus the fact that his presence would elevate the entire defense's performance, it's a game changer. Specifically, Anderson's pressure rate surpasses that of some other notable players on the roster, like Clelin Ferrell, who's currently at 14%. If the Commanders acquire him, they could see an increase of around 12 tackles for loss, which would significantly disrupt opposing offenses. His impact would extend beyond just sacks. He's a relentless force who can collapse pockets, force turnovers, and set up easier plays for the secondary. The overall effect on the defense could be transformative, especially considering the pressure rates and run-stopping metrics. Anderson's presence would also help the team reduce their run yards allowed from 128 yards per game down closer to 100, making opponents' ground game less effective and giving Washington a more balanced, aggressive defense. Now here's an interesting twist. The trade could also serve as a catalyst for the team's playoff odds. Currently, Washington's Super Bowl LVII odds are around plus 15-0, but with a move like this, some betting sites are already bumping their chances up to plus 500. That's a massive jump and signals that bookmakers see this kind of acquisition as a real boost to the team's potential. With Anderson in the fold, Washington could become a disruptive force in the NFC, especially with the division rival Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all battling for supremacy. The NFC is wide open, and a player of Anderson's caliber could be the piece that pushes Washington into serious playoff contention and possibly deeper into the postseason, even making a run at a Super Bowl. And don't forget, this isn't just about adding talent, it's about making a statement. The Commanders have been quietly building a culture of resilience, and this trade would send a message that they're not just content to rebuild, but aim to dominate now. Anderson's ability to forge a defensive wall in Washington would be a symbol of their renewed ambition, a team that's ready to challenge the league's best and shake up the NFL's power dynamics. Meanwhile, the Texans would be in transition, potentially losing a key piece of their defense, but gaining draft capital that could be vital for their long-term rebuild, especially with future extensions for C.J. Stroud looming. Of course, all of this hinges on how the negotiations unfold, the Texans' willingness to part ways, and Washington's willingness to give up some valuable draft capital. But if this trade goes through, it could be one of the most impactful moves of the season, giving the Commanders a new superstar to rally around and elevating their defense to a whole new level. Anderson's presence in Washington would be a statement that they're serious about competing now, not just rebuilding for the future, and that they're ready to challenge the NFC's top teams head-on. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, if the Commanders do manage to land Anderson Jr., their entire defensive philosophy could shift. They'd be able to deploy more exotic blitz packages, give opposing quarterbacks less time to operate, and create more turnovers, all of which are crucial for a team aiming to make a playoff push. With the offensive improvements they've made, including the development of their young quarterback and the strengthening of their offensive line, adding a player like Anderson would complete their puzzle. It would turn them into a formidable team capable of winning close games, especially in cold weather playoff conditions. Anderson's impact would also extend off the field. His reputation as a high-character player, combined with his elite play on Sundays, would energize the fanbase and create a new identity for the team. Washington has been searching for that game-changing edge rusher to anchor their defense, and Anderson could be the answer, a player who draws double teams, creates chaos in the backfield, and elevates everyone around him. For the fans, this potential trade is more than just a roster move. It's a symbol of the team's renewed ambition, a clear statement that Washington is serious about competing at the highest levels once again. The NFL is a league where one player can make all the difference, and Anderson Jr. has the talent and the drive to be that player for the Commanders. Imagine the roar of FedEx Field when he sacks the quarterback, or how his relentless pursuit can ignite the entire defense. That's the kind of impact that can define a franchise's trajectory for years to come. And as we always say, fans, keep your eyes glued on this story. Trades like these don't happen every day, and when they do, they often reshape the landscape of the league. Whether it's a blockbuster move or a strategic draft pick, the Commanders are positioning themselves to be serious contenders in the NFC. With Anderson Jr. potentially donning the burgundy and gold, the future looks even brighter, and the NFC East might be in for a shakeup that we'll be talking about for years. So, Washington fans, what do you think about this? Are you excited about the possibility of Anderson Jr. joining the team? Do you believe he's the missing piece to finally get us back to the Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters. I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest from the Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep pushing forward together. We're in this journey for the long haul, And with moves like this, the sky's the limit for our beloved team.